We've had obviously some coaching changes at tight end, so that's always an adjustment. But he's still same group of guys and good camaraderie, and we're just embracing the new things we're learning. And I think we're really growing as a group, both as an offense and as a unit, as a tight end group. So I'm just really excited to see just the progress we're making, even in 2 weeks of camp.
With that coaching change, what's that adjustment been like for you guys in that room, and just what are some of the things that you noticed that Justin Wood's bringing to that group?
Well, Coach Wood's great, and Adam was obviously great too. So Coach Wood was there last season, so we've obviously known him and been familiar with him. So it wasn't a huge transition in terms of that, just having some familiarity with his coaching style. And we're just embracing what we're learning that's new. We're embracing the things that he's reiterating from old installs and old coaching. So it's not too different, and the things that are, I think we're embracing, and we're getting it going for sure.
What are some of the factors that made you want to come back for another season?
Yeah, it was all about the team for me. I love football, and I just wanted to be on a winning team and come back and be part of something great. And so I'm really excited for this process. And football is obviously fun, and this is an awesome group of guys, and we have a really exciting future. So I'm pretty pumped up.
Was Coach Wood in the tight end room a lot before Adam left, or not as much?
Last season, he was pretty involved with the tight ends. And then this spring, he was involved with the O-line. But that also adds a lot of continuity, having an O-line background for Coach Wood to bring that in the tight end room, so we're on the same page when we're in line of blocking. So that's been really great.
What is the biggest challenge to switching coaches, just before the season like that?
The biggest challenge is probably just some terminology stuff, but that was addressed in our first meeting, and I think now it's pretty streamlined, and we know exactly what we're doing and playing fast. So that's probably the biggest adjustment, but we've gone over that hurdle and are moving forward now.
What kind of opportunity do you feel like you have personally to be able to contribute to this team this year now that you came back?
Yeah, my role last year was as kind of a blocking tight end, coming on heavier sets, and I think that's going to continue. And as we progress with Coach Hill's offense, he loves using tight end. Boise State obviously use them in a lot of different facets. And so hopefully as we continue to improve with that style of offense, the tight ends will get more involved, and I'll probably be a part of that, who knows, but I'm just happy to be in any role, any capacity, and help to win for the team.
You mentioned, I was going to ask you, just with kind of the way that Hill's offense worked at Boise State, he did incorporate his tight ends quite a bit. And how have you seen the role for you guys as a unit grow from where it was last year to the spring to where it is right now?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because, when you're watching film, you watch a lot of the Boise State stuff when you're learning the installs, and so you see some stuff they did that we're now progressing towards. So getting more involved in some trick plays and not just running the ball but passing it, different sets, moving us out wide and in. And so that's really exciting. I think it puts a lot of stress on the defense, and it's really fun as a tight end to do all those different things. So I think we're just trying to, as we get more familiar with the offense and everything, just kind of progress more and more towards being versatile as a tight end group.
And how much because of that do you feel like the tight end unit can kind of enable the success of this team as a whole, or at least offensively? Do you feel like you're kind of a big part of that right now?
Yeah, we have a ton of weapons everywhere on this whole offense, so it's not like a silver bullet solution. You need one group to do well to win. But I would say, there's probably a correlation between the tight ends playing well and the offense playing well. But we're gonna run what works, and so it's just about in this fall camp figuring out what that is, and I'm looking forward to whatever capacity a tight end is. I'm looking forward to just taking on that role.
Herm shouted you out as being a guy who really understands the offense, and if a coach calls something wrong, you'll sort of point it out. Is that a point of pride for you, having that cerebral understanding, and is that something you try to help other guys out in the room with too?
Yeah, that's a really important part of tight end. As I mentioned, we want to do a lot of different things, so having a really firm grasp of the offense and what exactly, not just what we're doing, but the why, the how we're doing it. It is a point of pride. I'm not as athletic as they're in tight end, so I might as well bump up my mental game just to help me out. But I think that's really important for the tight end group too moving forward, is making sure we're just locked in with every play call and every scheme, every defensive front we're seeing, and just knowing exactly what to do.
Herm also mentioned your toughness. Is that another area where you feel like you stand out there?
Yeah, I think the tight end group in general is really tough. And so I'm just really happy and proud to be a part of that group. And from when I first came to then the fall to the spring to now, we just continue to be better and better in the run game. And so that's really exciting to see.
How big of a jump up was it from the Ivies to Pac-12 ball?
Yeah, that's just, that first game to USC, I was really curious to see how much different it would be. I mean, it is a lot different. It's Pac-12 football. It's a lot more intense, but in a lot of ways, once I got playing, it was just like another game. So, if I had to give a percentage, I'd say 15% better.
You talked about the group just being more versatile. What kind of work has gone into making that possible?
In our individual drills, focusing on the details, footwork, hand placement, the blocking game. In the run game, Coach Wood's really big on our eyes, and then translating stuff from the spring with our footwork and releases. Just being really detail-oriented, and then doing that in Indy, then we go out to actual practice and games, just playing fast, and it just becomes natural.
What's the biggest difference?
In a lot of ways, in two ways you guys have mentioned, toughness and mental, getting the plays down. Both those from spring till now has really improved, and he embraces that, and so I'm excited to see what he does this season. He's really grown.
What's the biggest difference you've seen from Jaden just from last year to where he is now?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one that stands out to me is probably the leadership. Coming in the summer till now, just his vocalizing and really taking control of that offense. I mean, he's obviously a great quarterback, and he's smart, can throw it, can run it, and just taking that next step in terms of his leadership by being a vocal guy. That's been also really exciting to see.
Going back to Jalen just for a second, you talk about how blocking is sort of, a strength of yours, and that's obviously something that he's had to work on doing more, making the switch back to tight end. Has he come to you for advice in that? Have you offered that to him at all, and how do you feel like you've seen him grow specifically doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much my advice is worth. Anything I can help, obviously I'll help, but yeah, I mean, I think the big thing for him that he's worked on this fall is his hand placement, and then just the want to. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing in blocking is just wanting to get in there and get, stick your nose in there and do it. And so he's really embraced that this fall, and it's noticeable.
Harvard's had a strong lineage of putting tight ends and H's in the NFL. What is it that they do to have that level of success year in, year out?
It's what we talked about a little bit, that Harvard tight ends are very versatile, blocking, running routes, playing in the backfield, playing in line, splitting out wide. And then that's what, the tight ends are asked now to do in the NFL is really stress the defense by doing a lot of different things. And so Harvard, under Coach Murphy for the past 25 years, has really majored in developing tight ends as versatile, tough players.
What was the process for you to decide to transfer or leave after you get your degree from Harvard, and then why Arizona State was the right place to continue your career?
Yeah, well, Ivy League you can't redshirt, so I didn't have any more eligibility at Harvard. So I was done with my senior year. I was looking for jobs in finance and was going to go maybe live in New York, and I was like, shit, I want to go keep playing football. So I reached out, and luckily Herm is from my hometown in Monterey, and I looked at other schools too, but Arizona State was an awesome fit in terms of football, and school has a great sustainability program I was excited about. And then, talking to Coach Hill and getting involved with this offense and what they do at tight ends, that was really important to me and exciting. And so far, I've 150% made the right decision. It's been a great experience here.